Alright, this is a report on my rain garden project. This is something I wanted to do a year ago and ended up getting postponed, but I'm glad it did because I learned a lot more in the meantime. So the objective of this is to capture water on the site and let it seep into the ground. And I'm in Pacific Northwest, so this is good timing. Just started to have a lot of rainfall, and what I'm doing is collecting the water from the gutters on the left side of the house. It goes into a rain barrel on the corner, and the overflow for the rain barrel is what is going out into the rain garden. One of the best aspects of this project was I was able to reuse a lot of materials that I have on site. I have a lot of crushed urbanite from removing a driveway, concrete driveway, and I'm using that as kind of an initial bedding of the rock that you see around these places, and then doing a top dressing of river rock, so it just cuts down on the nice river rock that I would have to use. Gives the areas a lot of drainage, and in this case, this is dug down about 1.5 feet, and the objective is to pool up to a certain elevation. Goes a little higher to go over this swale, and then it goes down into this small basin. And if I wanted to, I could add a overflow in the berm here to go out into the planting bed. But so far this is only pooled up about 2 inches at the most, and after getting lots of rain. But I'm also allowing it to collect some more water in the future. The next project was going to be disconnecting these 2 downspouts, tying them together, running them under here, which is going to be a path, and then have them come out into the rain garden. So I'll be catching water from 2 other places, and this is supposed to be sized to account for that much water. I'm also going to make a bridge across this swale, and I have some rain garden plants in there. The barren soil, I just planted a cover crop of crimson clover for the winter just to cover it, and then I'll plant more in the spring. And I've also was able to use a lot of existing pavers, some old stepping stone pavers that I've had. So on one side I did a terrace instead of leaving it as a slope, just as an experiment, and then on the other side it's just a regular slope. And now I'll just show where the piping is coming from. That's the overflow from the rain barrel. And then this is from the gutter. The main part here is the first flush mechanism, which the rain falls down, it stops at the bottom, and it collects up into this chamber. And once it gets to this point, then the water, the excess water that keeps coming out, ends up forced to flow into the rain barrel. So what this does is it captures the contaminated water off the gutters first, lets it kind of settle in here, and then the cleaner water is what gets collected. Normally this is you have like a ball, a floating device, sometimes a small plastic water bottle, and you stick it in the pipe so it floats up, and then it actually cuts this off and seals it so that it makes sure that the the dirtier water stays out of the overflow. I don't have that in there right now. I still need to get a ball or something, but I'm not too worried about it. I mean, essentially the heavier debris is, going down to the bottom. Any other debris is getting screened out at the top of the rain barrel. So the water, I believe, is in pretty good shape either way. So this is a clean out for the side. So I can put that device, that floater, in here. I can also clean out any debris that gets collected at the bottom. And since this was an existing downspout over the stormwater drain, this is where it went in, fed into that, and it's right over it. I can actually use this to my advantage to empty out this chamber between storms. I have a valve that I can just empty the water out. In the past, I've seen some videos where people just have this end plug, but this is a pain to get out. You have to have a pipe wrench, and I don't want to be doing that every time after a storm hits. So I'm pretty sure there's some rain collected in here. Let me just go ahead and there it goes. So it goes right into the stormwater drain, and it's empty and ready to keep collecting. So I was also just going to say, in closing, some of the things that I would have done different. I'm not... Okay, so this is this collects the water coming down, and it has a little too far to travel coming down and then turning around this corner, so it actually gains a lot of velocity. And in a big storm, this swirls out of the pipe and it just kind of gets over the top. It's not a big deal, but it could have been better, I think, either lowering it to this height and letting it drop in, or having this pipe positioned so it just goes straight into the screen. That's one thing. I think this is over-engineered. This is only 1.5 inch diameter, and the water coming out of here is very limited because of this, so it doesn't need this be this 3-inch piping. I could have gone 2-inch, I think, and it would have been just fine. The other thing is the profile. I kind of wish that I had dropped it down above the skirting, or just to that height, just to get it out of the way a little bit visually. And those are the major things. Pretty happy with it overall. But yeah, just make sure, the whole idea is you need to maintain a consistent slope, 1 to 2% for piping, smooth pipe, so that the water continues to run down and not get pooled up anywhere. So that's it.